Welcome to the High Ticket Success Podcast, where premium coaches, consultants, and advisors come for bold strategies, big breakthroughs, and real results. I'm your host, Dave Dubow.
If you are a coach or a consultant or an advisor and you've got a program, if you've got a course and you want to get that used by a lot more people, then pay close attention to today's guest. Paul Ace, zooming in from the UK, knows a lot about this. In fact, he's helped a lot of big-time course creators grow even bigger very, very quickly. And today we're going to be talking about that, where to take your course, plus where AI comes into play in courses these days. So Paul, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Dave, great to be on the show. And hopefully we can add as much value to your audience as possible.
I think we can. I'm pretty positive we will. So Paul, give us a little snapshot of what you do and who you serve. So let's start with who you serve. So who is your ideal client that you work with these days?
Yeah, so we work with coaches and people who have got high-ticket education products that want to go and help and change the world. They're typically doing at least 5 million plus already when we start working with them. They've got a team in place and stuff. But they've just, quite often, they've hit a plateau, right? And they've gone through all the normal tactics and everything, right? They've read all the usual marketing books, and there's something missing. Whether it be in the imagination or the data or just the thing that's stopping them, making them hit that glass ceiling. So we help them overcome that through just looking at things through a different lens than other people do. And we have a philosophy that money loves speed as well. So we encourage things to happen a lot faster than they did before. Mm-hmm. And that creates a quicker feedback loop in the process as well to create a lot more action.
So when you're talking about high ticket programs, what price tags are you looking at typically that your clients are charging for their education?
Sure. Anything from, as low as like 3 to 5 grand up to like 50 to 100 grand, mm-hmm. Or more, like when we do our kind of deals, they're less volume, but a higher ticket because we don't get paid much on the front, but we get a share of the revenue or the profits in the back end. Right. So like, it doesn't look like a big deal on the front, but then it can be a lot better on the other side. So like we've kind of dealt all the way from like, $3,000 deals up to $1 million deals. It just depends on who you're working with.
So right now, as we're recording this, we're at the end of 2025. What are you seeing when it comes to courses kind of being the sweet spot for high ticket pricing? I know there's a range, but is there kind of like an average that you're seeing more often than not?
It's never about the price, right? It's about the value. Mm-hmm. It's about what do you get for that? So like, if I said to you, hey, look, I've got this car for sale and it's 5 grand, the first thing you'd say is, well, what car is it? Mm-hmm. And if I said, hey, it's a Ferrari, brand new, you'd say, well, that's a good deal. Mm-hmm. But if I said it's my beat up old Citroen Saxo that was my first car back in the day, you'd probably say that's not a great deal because you didn't even pay that for it, right? So price is just relative to what you get. And I think when you look at avatars, right, ICPs, whatever you want to call it, when you look at the messaging, if you go after the right customer, then those prices can sometimes become irrelevant. Like, say, for example, in our business, right? Because we're quite often sharing in a percentage of the upside. If I go and work with a 6-figure business and double their business, that might make them an extra 100,000 a year. Let's say they were making 100 grand, I took them to 200 grand.
Right.
But if I work and do exactly the same things with a business that's doing 10 million a year and take them to 20 million a year, which one do I get a better outcome from? And which one's willing to pay more? And which one's going to be less stressful? Right?
I know the answer to that.
You do a lot more with the 10 million range in terms of like the amount of campaigns, the amount of management, the amount of level that you have to play at. But there is so much more pushback at the 100 grand level because the entrepreneur hasn't yet gone through that part of the cycle yet, right? So like you don't see people going into a Rolls Royce dealership saying, oh, could you knock 100 quid off?
Yeah.
Right? They just go, what's the price? And they almost want to pay more because it's a status of paying more. Right. So that's kind of like the different concepts behind it.
Yeah, no, that's smart. So it sounds like you learned this through experience.
Yeah, a few years. Well, like I had the most logical path that most people would take right into entrepreneurship. So I started off working at I worked at Subway for £4.71 an hour, living the dream, right?
Yeah, it's called a nightmare, not a dream, Paul.
Well, I wasn't officially a sandwich artist, right? That's the only time in my life that I've been an artist. So then we got past that stage. I actually became a wedding singer for 5 years.
Oh, well, that sounds like more fun.
Yeah, so that was more fun, right? You can see why a lot of people struggle at being a musician and stuff over time, right? Because you have this massive high, and then it just crashes afterwards. And it's like I learned about marketing. There's a lot of feast and famine and stuff like that. You know, through that period of time, I went self-employed at 23, put my salary in half overnight, and just went, I'm going all in. From there, I sold bridesmaids dresses, and then from there, I learned about marketing, and we've been, running this business for 8 years. And you start off, you just take whatever you can, and then you slowly keep ratcheting up with the kind of people you work with, and then it's more of a people come to us rather than me go to other people.
Well, I find it very helpful to understand things via a story, Paul. So can you tell us a story of one of your favorite story about taking a client from point A to point B through working with you? If you're able to share names, that would be great, or talk about the niche they're in or the kind of the program they're in. What's your favorite success story with your program, your services?
So we have lots of NDAs and all that kind of stuff, so I can't say the specific
Fair enough.
Name. I'm good at saying results, and I can say names of people, but I can't put the two together.
Fair enough.
Right. So I'll give you one example, and I really like the way this combined data and creativity. So we come into a business, and we were doing a challenge in that business, right? So like every week it's like 5-day challenge, and then you sell a high ticket product from the back of it.
Okay.
What we found in that is we put in daily assessments, and we call them like quick wins, right? So each day they would have to fill in this form. What that allowed us to do, because the real thing behind it wasn't them filling in the form, it was us getting the data back to see what the completion levels was, and also getting micro commitments for later in the journey. So what we did is we added tags onto every single day. So we knew exactly what actions people had taken. And then we tracked something called sales velocity. So sales velocity shows how much is a customer worth on day 1, how much are they worth on day 30, day 60, day 90.
Okay.
We found if someone got to day 4 and actually completed the actions for day 4, that the lifetime customer value of that person doubled.
Wow.
Right? So it was like, okay, then you go from logic brain, change the hat, put the creative brain on. How do we get more people to day 4? So we created this hybrid between automation and human connection, and built this concierge process where they followed up with them each day with automation, but we actually had a human on the other side of it. So we were encouraging replies, and if they did reply, human replied. If I did that now, I'd use more AI for it, but that wasn't built in the same way back then, right?
Yeah.
So we did that. Within 30 days, we doubled the overall LTV in the business, and the business scaled, and at its peak, we'd started off with an evergreen challenge. It went from 0 to 121,000 in 30 days. Our peak, the business did, I think the best month we ever did was 3.5 million in a month.
Wow.
So, you just layer and stack on top of things. A lot of people go, oh, what's the magic hack that make it all work? It's not. It's if you look at Sir David Brailsford, right? The guy that went in to coach the England cycling team.
Right.
He just went in with 1% gains. So he was like, let's look at the pillows that they're sleeping on, right? Let's look at the energy drinks that they're having, all those kind of things. And they just fixed all the 1%, and that marginal gains made everything else happen. And that's sometimes how we look at the business. And then occasionally we just find a little rocket ship moment, right? So it's kind of like, you imagine in business, it kind of goes like that. It might even just drop just slightly, but then it just goes, shoo, through the roof. And then they go, what happened?
It's all those incremental gains compounding. That's what happens there. That's fascinating, Paul. And that's something a lot of us lack, is the discipline to just really test and tweak and really look under the hood for those kind of numbers. Like, that was brilliant to look at. Okay, well, we got this 5-day challenge. What's the lifetime value, and figuring out, backing that out, which took a little while. That wasn't like an overnight thing.
No, it's about 60 days, from initial concept of like, hey, we found this data, to, okay, 30 days to build it, and then 30 days to go, oh, it worked. Great, let's go do that again.
Yeah, brilliant. So, Paul, I've been talking with some folks that have been in the high-ticket course business for a while now. One that comes to mind is a gentleman that had a multi-million dollar coaching and course kind of business. And he's kind of switching gears because of AI, or that's what he's saying, that the whole course thing is a lot more difficult these days than it used to be. What he was saying, people are going to ChatGPT, whether it's right or not, and just kind of trying to get all the information they can from that. What are you seeing, as of now, 2025, courses, AI, the impact that's having off?
So I think there's a quote by Warren Buffett that says, when the tide goes out, you find out who's swimming naked. Right?
Yeah.
It's quite profound in the world that we're living in at the moment. So there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages to having AI in things. I mean, number one, if you think of what AI is doing in media, if you look at newspapers, for example, right? If you imagine Facebook is a newspaper, there's only so many amount of advertising slots in that newspaper. Mm-hmm. Now, because the barrier to entry of creating something and putting an ad out there has become less and less and less. I mean, I think Meta's saying by 2026, they want to basically build it so you don't even have to do creative. I don't believe that they will be there for the higher level media buyers out there, but for Joe Bloggs down the road who's got his sandwich shop, who wants to just do a little ad, it's probably going to be enough for what they need there. So number one, what that does is it brings a lot more people into the market. And then, well, what does that? That's just a supply and demand. So if you've got a supply and demand problem, well, what happens? Well, the costs go up. So if the costs go up, but your conversions are not going up, well, that means your profit goes down.
Yeah.
So then you look at the other side of it and you go, okay, so you've got your costs have gone up on your media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Google, etc. Less people are searching on Google now, more people are searching on ChatGPT, which means Google hasn't got as much search traffic, which means then the costs go up. So then you've got the other side that because people are using ChatGPT, it's going to go the other way where they're like, well, information now is freely accessible. Now, if you look even back when Google became big, a lot of people would be like, oh, now Google is like, yeah, but you can find information on YouTube. Yet people still bought high ticket courses. So why would they? And the key thing is because people don't buy for information, they buy for transformation.
Right.
So one thing that I've been seeing more and more is you read more on, there's some real good philosophies around what AI does well and what it doesn't do well. AI can only work with the past. It can't create the future. Right? Mm-hmm. Why is that? Well, it's taking data of everything that's already happened. It can't create anything new. It's impossible right now. So yes, it may appear like it's creating something, but it's actually not. So if you want to, the other thing as well, if you look at it from a coaching perspective and you use AI as your coach, you get certain distance, and where it gets hard, what do? You stop. Now, I go to the gym 3 times a week. When I'm doing that 8th rep, and I'm like, he's like, you're doing 10 reps. And I'm like, I don't want to do 10 reps. And he's like, 2 more, right? AI would say 2 more and you go, oh, shut up, AI.
Uh-huh.
Right? Well, because we don't have that same level of accountability there. So people are now staying for accountability and community.
Yeah.
And if you don't have those, and if you don't build the brand around that, if you're just selling information is freely available. So that's where you have to embed AI in your stuff, make your cost of fulfillment less than it was before to bring the margins back up. So that's some of my philosophies around it. Can you still sell things for 50 grand, 100 grand, 500 grand? Yes, you just do it with less people. I got over half of my team this year, and we're more productive than we were.
Wow. Yeah.
Because we just leveraged AI in the right way.
Well, no, I love what you said there. It's not about the information that anybody can get almost anywhere. It's about the accountability and the community and the person that you're connected to that's taking you on that transformation, right? It's not information, it's transformation. So, Paul, the other thing I think that you are getting involved right now with something to do with AI and helping your clients skip a step or two and just kind of get down to brass tacks. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I had a vision like 3 or 4 years ago, and the technology, well, I say it wasn't there. It wasn't easily accessible, right? Probably was there, but I wasn't smart enough to figure it out. So what I've seen a gap in the marketplace for is we do a lot of conversion rate optimization, right? So essentially improving the conversions, improving the sales on a page.
Right.
Now, if you bring in a conversion rate optimization agency specifically, they might do 3 or 4 tests in a month. So they do the test, they go, we're going to hypothesize, they're going to do the thing, then they have to let it run all the way to statistical significance. Then they go, we'll tell you the results. That'll take another 3 or 4 days. And then you've got more lag. And then before you know it, it's just kind of like, oh, well, so what do we do? Well, we did 3, didn't win. And we had 1 that had a 5% increase. It's like, oh, great. Okay. So no one's like super excited by that.
Right. Yeah.
And so I started doing some product market fit interviews. And one of the things that came up a lot was we don't actually know what's working and what isn't. So you put those two things together, right? If you look at, I think they call it a Venn diagram, right? So when you start like layering things on top, so it's like the business owner doesn't have a transparency on what's working. The agencies that they are working with are not getting things out quick enough, and there's not enough testing being done. And it's also probably not using the level of research that needs to be done. So it's like, well, what if we marry all that stuff together and make something that people could run their own conversion rate optimization and set it up in 60 seconds, right? And click 5 buttons. So that's what we built, which is just about to launch. And essentially what you do, you put your web address in there. Then from there, you select any element you want to test. And then AI will go and look up and search across the internet and find all your customer language patterns that not just you have told us, but also we've researched about your business to find the exact language patterns, right? And I'm talking not just kind of like generic stuff. I'm talking scraping from forums of the exact language patterns are being used. And then we use that to go and create the new copy. Now, here's the cool thing about it though.
Yeah.
Once it's done, it's not just great. So that means it's set on my test. It constantly is learning and iterating and making it better. So it will go, here's my first like 4 variations. It'll go, that one's not working very well. Cut that one. That one's working really well. Let's create another variation of that. And it will create.
Are we talking about landing pages here? What
Right.
do we? Yeah,
landing pages, sales pages, opt-in pages.
Yeah.
If you've got
It's A/B splitting in real time kind of thing.
in real time, so you could switch that on today, leave it for 365 days, and it will still be increasing your conversion rates. And every day, then it will send you a message and say, "This is what we tested today. This is what worked. This is what didn't work." Right.
So really, the variable is how much you're feeding the ad machine to get the word out.
Yeah. So this tool is not designed for someone who gets like 100 visitors a month.
Right.
But if you're running a machine, and it could be, it could be ads, it could be JVs, it could be organic search traffic, personal brand, like whatever the thing is. But if you're driving a lot of traffic, and it doesn't matter on the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you got real estate podcast in the background, right? Real estate, high ticket, e-commerce, whatever it is, every business wants to get more customers that come to their page to buy.
Cheaper.
And cheaper, right?
Exactly.
So if if we can't get the ad cost down, let's get the conversion rate up.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a system that 60 seconds, you click 5 buttons and it increases your conversions for life.
That's sweet. Yeah. Smart. Paul, this has been fascinating. I'm sure there's going to be folks interested in finding out about both things that you're up to. So where should they go?
So if you want to find out about, like, if you've got a business that's already doing 5 million plus, and you want help growing that business, then go to amplifyccom.com. And that's C with the letter C, stands for conversational commerce. And then if you want to get on the wait list, or depending when you listen to this, actually sign up and get a free trial for the software, again, assuming when you listen to it, then go to EverConvert.ai, and then you can sign up there. And yeah, give it a try, test it out. And we just want to make it the best product in the world.
Fantastic. Paul, thanks very much for being on the show. This has been fun.
Awesome, Dave. Appreciate you.
All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the High Ticket Success Podcast. Want to be featured? Share your story and inspire other premium coaches, consultants, and advisors? Apply now at highticketsuccesspodcast.com/guest.